Good evening, everyone. Very warm welcome to you on the 7th day of Executive Development Program, which is 11th batch in the series by Committee for Members in Industry and Business. My sincere gratitude to ICI President, CA Dr. Debashish Mitra, ICI Vice President, CA Aniket Talati, Central Council members, ICI Secretary, CA Dr. Jaikumar Batra, and everyone. We at Committee for Members in Industry and Business, under the chairmanship of our chairman, CA Central Council member, CA Ranjit Agarwal, and Vice Chairman, Central Council member, CA Dr. Raj Chawla, have taken this initiative of Executive Development Program for our members who qualified in July 2021 examinations. We, on behalf of our chairman and vice chairman, I once again welcome each one of you and thank all the speakers who are present here today to participate in a panel discussion from different parts of Middle East. We are very fortunate to have the chairman and chairman of most of our Middle East chapters, who will be here to deliberate on the opportunities in Middle East, the changes which are happening, and what may be important for you if you are looking at Middle East as a career opportunity. I would like to share with each one of you that this is the 11th batch in the series, and all the sessions which have happened in this batch or in earlier batches is available on ICI YouTube channel, which is CHU, and watching those sessions, you can type EDP in a search engine on the channel and you will get access to all the sessions which have happened. These sessions have been designed specifically for you as young members, wherein you get opportunity to learn power skills, you get to know about technological changes which are happening, and you get to know the opportunities all across the world. In this session, also, in this batch, we had covered opportunities in Europe, we covered opportunities in Australia, and Middle East. Nilibhai, mute yourself. Unmute Nilib for a second.
You can remove my access.
Okay, so we have today CA Nirlip Bhatt, who is a past chairman of a Doha chapter and who will be moderating the session. I think some technical issues on Nirlip's connection, and CA Nirlip, can you hear us? Will you?
Am I audible?
Yes,
am I audible?
Yes,
You're
yes. There is a echo.
What I request, just disable my access, which is not having the camera. If possible.
Mr. Nilip, I have you have joined from two login IDs.
Yeah, correct. My system got hacked. My system remove me. Got hacked and remove.
Ayaz, please identify from where Nirlip is speaking and remove the other connection. Remove the another connection from here. That's why there is a echo. There is a sound disturbance. So where the video is off, please remove CA Nedlip from there. Yeah? I'll introduce CA Nedlip, who currently works Al Majid David Group in Qatar. Just a moment. Ayaz, can you hear me?
Nirlip, no. Nirlip, you log out, please, and rejoin. Log out, please.
Okay, no. Actually, the system of Nedlip has hanged, so that's why he cannot. I think we can remove a participant. Okay, fine. So CA Nedlip, who currently works with Al Majid Javed Group in Qatar, carries the diverse experience of 15 years in banking, infrastructure and trading sectors with reputed organizations in India and Qatar. He feels that Indian CAs are industry leaders and their sound technical knowledge and practical exposure which provide a competitive edge to CAs across the sectors. CA Nedlip is a prolific communicator and carries a flair for written and oral communications, as he has been a speaker on various professional events for the members and students and has also contributed professional articles in various magazines and journals. He is privileged to be part of the management committee of the Doha chapter since 2014-15, where he is now an immediate past chairman and completed his tenure recently. He firmly believes in the phrase that be the change you wish to see in the world. I would also like to inform that CA Nedlip has been supportive in the initiatives of ICAI over and above his responsibilities when he had served in the chapter and also as a past leader in Doha now. And we are very thankful to you, CA Nedlip, for agreeing to be the moderator of this session and being here to moderate the session with our big leaders from Middle East countries. So I thank you. I request all participants here to please give a big virtual round of applause for CA Nedlip and all our panelists. And I pass on the screen to Nedlip now. Nedlip, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, and thanks everyone for bearing with me for this technical glitch. But I think now we are all set, so it's fine. We are there. It's okay, sir. Prabdeep sir.
Yes, it's perfectly fine now. We can go ahead with the session.
So thank you so much, and especially for this very warm introduction. I consider it's my privilege to continue to serve the chapter fraternity members. It's really great to have all the chapter chairmen as the panelists, but more importantly, we all are friends and part of one Middle East family and CA fraternity. So, dear CA Prabdin Singh Baweja, Regional Director, Middle East and Africa, Mr. Ranganathan ji, if you are there, other officials of Committee of Members in Industry and Business, Chapter Chairman of the Middle East countries, and beloved professional brothers and sisters who are viewing this session either on the link or on the live on the YouTube. Good afternoon or good evening, based on your location, as we say in this virtual world. Friends, at the outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Committee for Members and Industry Chairman, CA Ranjit Kumar Agarwal, and Vice Chairman, CA Dr. Raj Chawla, the coordinator, or I would say the brain behind the whole initiative, CA Prabdin Singh Baweja and Ranganathan ji, for providing the opportunity to share the knowledge and serve the fraternity. Friends, as our RDMA has said, the success of this initiative is evident from the fact that this is the 11th batch of the Executive Development Program to guide and mentor newly qualified chartered accountants. The range of topic, as I've always been seeing, is quite diverse, with more than 200 speakers sourced globally. Prabdeep Saab, you can correct me, but I think it could be more than 200, 250. Many CAs who qualified during last 3 to 4 years have acknowledged the role of this initiative in their success. All of them are very, very well placed. And I also must mention that many speakers also have conducted the follow-up session after this. So it's great to have everyone over here. Friends, first of all, heartiest congratulations to all the students for qualifying as chartered accountants and adding the alphabets of trust before your name. Your achievement in my view is especially laudable as you had appeared in exam during second wave of COVID-19, especially those who have passed in July 2021. Believe me friends, the tenacity, the perseverance and the resolute mindset what you have demonstrated are going to be your lifetime assets, as they say that process is as important as outcome. I would suggest to begin with to keep this acronym ICE in your mind. We CAs are also expected to have ICE school mind. But what I mean by ICE is innovation. Constantly keep on reinventing yourselves. Dynamics of the professional world are continuously changing. Remodel, reorient and reskill yourselves, and this is the key to thrive. C is communication. I think Pradip sir has already mentioned, once known as the soft skill, the skills are now known as power skills, which will help you to achieve a competitive edge. Make your own brand with communication and leadership skills, gamut of which is quite wide. And finally, E, which is the enterprising attitude. We all are perceived to be expert in finance, account and taxation. However, how much business acumen you have, sectoral experience you carry, and how can not only you save the cost, but also can increase the revenue, that will probably determine your success and your growth, how you can probably have the future ready strategy. Now coming to the topic of this panel discussion, Middle East region provides plethora of opportunities to all the chartered accountants since decade. Certain peculiarity about this region and chartered accountants are, friends, as you may be knowing, ICI is having 44 overseas chapters, out of which 11 are in the Middle East. The largest overseas chapter of the ICI and the oldest overseas chapter of the ICI, Dubai and Doha respectively, are also located in the Middle East. Geographically, this region is quite convenient. The region is just within 3 to 4 hours of flying distance from most of the major cities of India. In all Middle East countries, we Indians form the largest expat community. That gives a sense of comfort as we can easily create a strong community bond. Domain-wise, the CAs in the Middle East can explore not only employment opportunity, but also gradually develop their consultancy and the audit practices. And we have some of the very, very prominent entrepreneurs in this region. And finally, the economy of Middle East is quite, as a region, is quite stable and strong. And notably, very robust law and order framework are in place in every country. And yes, of course, it offers the tax-free salary also. Cost of relocation from India to Middle East is also relatively lower. So it's quoted that if you are working on something that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. Your vision pulls you. The objectives of today's panel discussion is exactly the same. To charter out your vision as far as career planning is concerned, and especially for the opportunities in the Middle East. It is expected to raise the level of preparedness and help you become proactive. We have very thoughtfully chosen the contents, keeping in mind your requirements and career stage so as to make the deliberation quite fruitful. Today's panel discussion is unique with all the chapter chairmen of ICI overseas chapters are as the panelist. I must welcome C.S. Sajiv, Vice Chairman of Muscat chapter, who has joined as at a very, very short notice. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much. The format of this panel discussion is a question-answer format, and we'll follow circular style in a way that everybody will get a couple of rounds. In the first round, leaders will give their valuable insight on the professional opportunities for CAs in their respective jurisdiction. And in the second round, we will the question based on their own expertise, based on your queries in mind, and the relevance of the region as a whole. But I must say that though we have chosen all the chairmen of the chapter as the panelist, but they also represent quite diverse talent and domain expertise. We have panelists who are CEO of a consultancy firm, who is running their own practice, someone who is a C-suite executive, someone who has a knack over technology, and someone who has a keen interest and expertise in some of the non-traditional areas. All of them, friends, are quite senior with their professional accomplishment and leadership experience, and they also understand your aspiration and queries quite well. So help me welcome eminent personalities with this virtual round of applause. CA Anurag Chaturvedi ji, chapter chairman of the largest chapter of the ICI, chapter chairman of Dubai chapter. We have CA John George, chapter chairman of Abu Dhabi chapter. Deepak Bindal, CA Deepak Bindal from Kuwait. We have CA Ankit Agarwal from Doha, Qatar. CA Santosh Varghese from Bahrain. And as I mentioned, CA Sajiv, thank you so much again, Vice Chairman of Oman Muscat chapter, who is representing that chapter. We have CA Madhur Gupta from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And we have CA Dhaval Nandedkar from UAE, from Fujairah chapter of ICAI. Thank you so much. And, I know the heading the chapter casts a lot of responsibilities on your shoulder, but you have kindly consented to be the panelist, and thereby we will add the value to the career of the audience. So let me begin this with the first round. So my first question in the order will follow the same in which I have introduced the esteemed panelist. CA Anurag Chaturvedi ji. Dubai is the largest overseas chapter of ICI, and I was given to understand that is one of the most attractive destination also, with nearly 5,000 chartered accountants. So can we please have your views on the career opportunities in Dubai for Indian chartered accountants?
Thank you, CA Nirlip, but for giving a very nice opening remark with respect to the opportunities, the kids and, essentially the students who are newly qualified chartered accountants, they're looking. I must say that Dubai is a global city. It's a global city for a reason that in this city, there are 203 nationalities lives in. When 203 nationality lives in, you can imagine 203 different culture prevail within the small city. The city's population is nearly 4 million. So in that 4 million, you have 203 nationalities, which means 203 different cultures that you embed within the city itself. When 203 cultures come together, it creates a force, which is no less than a force of a world. Because people across these nationalities come with different aspirations, ambitions, and experience to shine and to make the city much more lucrative than any other part of the world. That's why you see that any best thing which is happening in recent decade is now in Dubai. Be it the largest ferry wheel, be it the largest park, which is largest deep water drive, skydive, one of the largest and finest airlines in the world, be it, the place for Dubai Expo 2020, largest expo, which have been done. So essentially, why all these things big happens? Because here the culture of the city is not to relax. It's culture where people come with the dreams. It's a city of dreams. They call it city of dreams. And in the city of dreams, you come with your own aspiration to testify your courage, to take it to your aim and your destination. I must say that within the city itself, there's ample opportunities for Indian chartered accountant exist, because if you look into Dubai, there are over 7,000 chartered accountants are here, out of which nearly 3,000 are registered member of ICI Dubai chapter, which represent nearly 2,600 top UAE companies. Any company you name it in Dubai, their CFO or their CEO or their financial controller or head of department or probably chief internal auditor or an auditor or an accountant will be an Indian chartered accountant, right? So essentially, if I talk in numbers, so 200, 600 companies which is represented by our members, are pragmatically 1,000 in the industry, 1,000 and nearly 2,000 is into the practice area. And practice, it grown since 2017 with the inception of VAT in 2018 and excise, then the economic substance regulation, then the ultimate beneficial ownership regulation, then so is anti-money laundering, data privacy, the change in Companies Act, and obviously upcoming in 2023, the launch of corporate tax, which is the key. So opportunities in the region is significantly growing, and there's a mass scale demand. But I want to warn here one thing, very important, that this city requires people who come with the passion to work, which means people need to be prepared. They need to, as you, Nirlabji, you mentioned about brand. They need to be very brand conscious, because I must tell that here. I mean, I'll take a bit of time, 1 more minute additional to talk about that. Probably I believe that I'm in time. So many times we receive number of CVs out there. Many times we receive number of CVs. People don't know how to write it to people, how to address to the people, what area they should look into that, which area is their ambitions out there. They simply blankly apply, look, any area that get me to Dubai, let us get there. But trust me, friends, this is not going to help you. This is not going to help. You need to first fine tune which area that you can do, because everybody, whichever area you wanted to make your career, the opportunities exist in Dubai. You need to pick and choose right areas. And then accordingly, you need to approach, you need to prepare yourself for that particular especially, and don't simply generalize. Don't make 5 versions of your CVs and right, left and center you send it because people don't have time. You need to be somebody who can get attention, and you need to be brand conscious, very, very brand conscious. I'll talk about it further later during the section. So over to you, Nirlabji. This is from me, from an outset background of the opportunities in Dubai.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anurag ji. I just got a message that, chapter chairman from Kuwait cannot join it. So that is just for the information of all the panelists as well as the participants. As you rightly mentioned, sir, I like that point about the identifying your own passion. So that's very important, and that links to that, what your passion is all about. Build up your own brand, and just don't rush for each and everything for which the opportunities may come. So now we will move to yet another prominent chapter of the Middle East, chapter chairman, CA John George, who will enlighten us about the opportunities available in the Abu Dhabi. CA John, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, CA Nirlab. I'd like to thank CA Ranjit Kumar Agrawal, chairman of CMI and B, and also I'd like to thank CA Dr. Raj Chawla, vice chairman of CMI and B. And let me also, from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to thank Prabhdev Singh ji, who took the lead to organize this event. And there is amazing coordination he's doing. He sent reminders every now and then. Thank you, Prabhdev ji, for all your kind messages to organize this event. First of all, I always feel happy while I speak to newly qualified CA, because I always remember my CA days when I pass. It's a good feeling. But I feel you are also lucky because the information you are getting was not there at that point. Everything is available in front of you. There are chapter chairmen from various GCC countries talking about their experience, what is the opportunities there, which we didn't have that point. So let me also congratulate you for being today here, and I hope that you will get a good benefit out of this today's event. I represent Abu Dhabi chapter. I'm the chairman of IC Abu Dhabi chapter. We are the second largest chapter, overseas chapter. We are well connected to the business communities here and the Indian Embassy. Now, we are trying to achieve around 1,000 members this year. we do a lot of activities for our members here, like organizing professional seminars about the new topics, IFRS. There is a workshops. Any new laws comes, we discuss. So it's a knowledge sharing platform we have. Apart from that, we also have a social side of it where we have our corporate social responsibility, where we distribute food kits to the workers here. We help many Indian community and other community here during the pandemic. So blood donation, all the chapters are doing the similar work. So we are well connected to the Indian community and the Indian business community here. This will help us for a brand building. If you look at your Emirati communities, we are also building a good relation, trying to build a good relation with the Emirati community to bring awareness about the brand, because they know very less about the CAs, because it's an international market. There are different type of qualified accountants are there from US, from UK, from Pakistan, from Philippines. You'll find, as our Dubai chapter chairman said, it's more than 200 nationalities are here. So you'll find a variety of professional financial professionals are here in UAE. So you're going to compete with somebody in international level. So in India, we know that we are going to compete with Indian CS, and we know what knowledge we need, how to approach. We have been trained there as an article clerk. We have the full information, and we are just going to the employment straight away from there. But here you're coming to a new country, it's totally different. You're dealing with a different set of people. You're dealing with different nationalities. You're going to deal with Arab nationalities. You're going to deal with Western nationalities. You're going to with different nationalities. So you have to be a little bit of open-minded to accept the different nationalities. You should be open-minded to accept different accounting way of thinking. So this you have to mentally prepare before if you think coming to this part of the world. But as I said, Abu Dhabi is the capital of UAE and Abu Dhabi Emirates. It covers almost 87% of the landmass of UAE. So that way, landmass wise, we are very big, and our major income once upon a time was the oil and gas. If you look at the UAE, the oil and gas now the share is just 30%, and non-oil is around 70% of UAE. So that's the importance what government is giving, not just oil and gas. It is other business, to come up. In UAE there is around more than 10 million people, and most of them around 9 or 8.8 million are expats. So here the community is mixed. Indian is the largest community. You can see 8 million expats from various nationalities. It's so big. The percentage is like 88% of UAE is expats. We come here for work. All are professionals. We come here for the development of this country. We are part of this country and also contribute to our own nation, India, where we support our country by do various activities, by transferring our investments there. So the relation between India and UAE is very much there, and recently agreement has been signed, SEPA agreement, and it's going to open a business between India and UAE, and it's going to bring a lot of opportunities for business community. When business grew, our profession grew with that. If there is no business, we have no role. But if the business is going to grow, the government have the plan to engage with UAE to increase the business. And there are so much activities going on, so many seminars going on. There is so much of discussion between the business community here, between India and UAE is happening. So much of business is going to come here. It's going to be happening place for here. I am here for last 18 years, and with no doubt I can say it's a great country. Abu Dhabi, as compared to Dubai, it is very quiet and less traffic, but it's a great place to work. We have many government organizations. ADIA is there, which is the largest sovereign fund. So that way, we are blessed with so many companies here, international, multinational companies here. As I said, that 70% of the business is contributed by non-oil sectors. And out of that, 30%, around 12% is a wholesale trade and retail trade. Why I have to mention about the sectors is because if you are in that sector, the probability of getting job is very high. So one of the sector is oil and gas. It covers 30%. Other sector is an wholesale and retail trade vehicles. It's around 12%. Where if you're working in a retail company is there, if you're working in a wholesale trading companies, if you're working in a vehicle companies, you have very good chance to come here because it have contribution of 12% of total GDP. Again, we have manufacturing here, 8%. Construction is also there. Prior to pandemic, the construction was one of the biggest sector here. And after pandemic, just shrinked. But again, the scope is there for expansion. And for the banking and insurance is one of the important sector, real estate. If you are in this sector or if you have plans into hospitality, into healthcare, this is the right place for you. Because there is no income tax, personal income tax. There is a less taxes here. The way of living, the condition of living, the standard of is very high. And it is with your family, it's a wonderful place. So I want to just give a background of what we are, to give a small background of what is Abu Dhabi, what is UAE. See, during the pandemic, yes, there was a downtrend, but the healthcare sector was going. But after the pandemic, which is reducing the number of cases, actually the opening is restarted. I've seen many inquiries, many job opening is coming, especially in the hospitality, airline industries, manufacturing. In IT side, Oracle or any ERP implementation, financial consultant, the big opportunities are here. So if you want to get a job, the best way to come here, and if you have a 1 or 2 year experience, it's very good because the more vacancies are available in the junior to mid-level vacancies, like financial analyst, a general accountant, or finance manager, ERP consultant. And since the introduction of VAT, the requirement of taxation is very high. So many people employed CAs just because they have to manage the VAT. And many consulting firms also employed who have expertise in VAT. Again, we are going to, in UAE, there is going to be a corporate tax which will be introduced in 2023. This is going to open a lot of opportunities for CAs. For that, you prepare yourself, you look into the industries where you work, get some experience. If you have a Big Four experience, is an added advantage. Many of the advertisements they require for a Big Four experience. Even a 2-year experience is good for you. Any companies which in the relevant field. So I just want to sum up. I just want to conclude what I was talking about. And please feel to contact us, write to us. And if you reach here, we can guide you. Or if you need some queries, and if you want to, before accepting any appointment, you can talk to us or inquire about the salary structure here. What's the cost of living? So I wish you all the best, and thank you, Nirla, for this first question, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, CA John, for the very, very insightful remarks, I would say. Friends, a couple of points from Mr. John, which I especially would like to highlight is that we have to be culturally very, very sensitive, because Mr. John and Mr. Anurag, CA Anurag and CA John both mentioned that more than 200 nationalities are there in UAE. So it's very, very important to have that cultural diversity into mind, especially when we are required to work with nationals and Arab people. And also, I like that CA John has given the overall idea about the functioning of a chapter. So each of the chapter in the Middle East and all the chapter of ICI are working in very, very close coordination with Indian Embassy. They are conducting the events of professional importance for their members, and also they are closely well knit with Indian community by doing a lot of CSR events, a lot of family events, and they are, I would say that every overseas chapter in the Middle East are amongst the most vibrant organization in their respective countries. I'm sure everybody would agree to that. So thank you so much, CA John. So now we will move to CA Ankit Agarwal, chapter chairman of Doha, Qatar, to give his views on the opportunities available, overall insight into Qatar. CA Ankit, over to you.
Thank you so much, CA Nirlab, and thank you to each and every committee members, as well as thank you Pradeep Singh Baveja sir for such an amazing opportunity for conducting the EDP, which is the 11th session. So I would like to give a brief overview about the country before proceeding to the main question. So the state of Qatar is a sovereign and independent state in the Middle East. It's occupying a peninsula that just into an Arabian Gulf. Since its complete independence from the Britain in 1971, the Qatar has emerged as one of the world's most important producer of oil and gas. It's an Islamic state whose laws and customs follow the Islamic traditions. Since 2013, the country has been governed by His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani. The state of Qatar is a peninsula which is located among the western coast of the Arabian Gulf. The peninsula is approximately 100 kilometers across and extends 200 kilometers into the Gulf. Qatar includes several islands, the largest of which are Halul, Sharoa and Al Asha. It shares the southern borders with the Saudi Arabia and a maritime border with Bahrain, UAE and Iran. Qatar population is 2.6 million as of on 2021 census. The capital city of Qatar is Doha, and it's 2 hours behind than India as per the timings. Arabic is the official language of the country, though English is also widely spoken. The major cities are Doha, Wakra, Al Khor, Dukan. Qatar has a desert climate with a year-round sunshine, hot summers and the mild winters. The currency of Qatar is Qatari Riyal, like 1 Qatari Riyal is equivalent to 3.65 USD, or in the Indian rupees it's 21 INR as of now. Qatar Airways is the official airline of the country and well connected with the most of the major cities of the India. Citizens of over 95 countries, including India, are eligible for the visa-free entry into the state of Qatar, following the government rules and regulations relating to COVID-19 protocol as of now, which is being followed. Business and the work visa are generally issued by the company who hire the employee for the work. Qatar is also known as the sporting capital of the Middle East and hosting the biggest tournament of the world, FIFA, in November 2022, which will definitely help to generate a lot of employment opportunities in the region. This was an overview about the country Qatar. Chartered accountancy is one of those prestigious degrees which has the demand not only in India but outside India also. So Qatar itself is a home for more than 400 plus chartered accountants, out of which most of them are holding CEO, CFO, GM, finance director position in the various reputed organizations in Qatar. The career opportunities which are available for Indian CAs in Qatar either is to be in the job or they can start their own CA firm. So I would highlight the main sectors in the Qatar where the Indian CAs can apply for the job in the finance department are. The first department is oil and natural gas sector, which is the main sector. So some of the main reputed companies are Qatar Energy, Qatar Gas, Wakood. Manufacturing sector like Qatar Steel, Qatar Chemical Company, Qatar National Cement Company. Finance, insurance and the real estate sectors like Commercial Bank, Dukan Bank, Qatar Insurance Company. Building construction sectors, Musharraf Properties, UDC Qatar, etc. Trade, restaurants and hotel sector. Due to FIFA, a lot of new hotels are coming up. So Accor Group, Marriott Group and other groups are investing a lot in Qatar. And now Qatar is promoting the tourism like anything due to the FIFA also. So that's altogether a new sector for the employment opportunities. Transport sector, Qatar Rail, Muwasalat, Qatar Airways. These are the main companies who have the transport sector. Telecommunication sector, we have Vodafone and Ooredoo. These are the two main companies who drive the telecommunication sector in Qatar. Electricity and water sector, which is the Karama, it's a government-owned company. So these are the main sectors in the Qatar where the newly qualified chartered accountant can apply. And the main job sites to see all the openings and to apply for in Qatar are Indeed, Bayat, and the LinkedIn, which are very, very recommended by us. You find most of the openings in these three particular sites. I will repeat: Indeed, Bayat, and LinkedIn. These three are the very important sites if you are looking for the jobs in the Middle East, especially in the Qatar region. And of course, if you are interested in opening your own CA firm, so please write an email to us, which is ICI-Doha-chapter@gmail.com, and we will definitely connect you with the respective person or the firm in Doha, which will help you out in setting up the firm with all the respective completing your rules and regulation. Doha chapter of ICI is the one of the oldest chapter, which was formed in 1981. And of course, whoever the new chartered accountants who are coming in Qatar, you always have a home away from home, which is Doha chapter of ICI. So these are some of the career opportunities which are available for Indian chartered accountants in Qatar. So over to you, CN with this.
Thank you very much, C. Ankit. And it's as you rightly mentioned, it's very important for any chartered accountant to know about the country itself and have the insights into the sectoral scenario also. And I would also take a cue again from what C.A. John had said, and C. Ankit also has mentioned probably, that I know about Qatar chapter because I am the immediate past chair. All the chapter are assisting the aspiring chartered accountants, those who want to relocate to the region by way of job search and career opportunities also. As C. Ankit has mentioned, you can reach out to, you can visit actually the website of all the overseas chapter whose representatives are here, communicate with them. Whenever you are planning to visit that country for job opportunities, either you are into Qatar or into any other country, or you are outside these countries, but in India, you can always reach out to them, and I'm sure that they will be helpful to you. I know many of the chairmen and past chairmen of, especially in UAE, I am in touch with, they are always assist the fellow chartered accountants in relocating. So with this, now let's move to yet another very, very vibrant, I would say, chapter of ICI, and also vibrant chapter chairperson also, C.A. Santosh Varghese, to give his views on the opportunities available in Bahrain. Over to you. Yeah.
Thank you, C. Nirlep ji. Also, I would like to thank you, the ICI leadership, for this kind of wonderful initiative of hearing us and understanding and giving an insight to our upcoming chartered accountants. Also, our Middle East Director, Prabdeep ji, is always very forthcoming and helping us whatever we have the clarification or query is having. It's a wonderful support we receive from him. Thank you very much once again for you. Coming back to Bahrain, this country is called a Pearl Nation, and is one of the oldest civilization, as old as Indian civilization. It's called a Dilmuniya civilization. And maybe recently we are very less heard because it's the size of this country is very small. That's one reason, but it's one of the oldest civilization. And the oil first invented in Bahrain, actually, first oil well is in Bahrain. Okay, that way this region, the leadership was some point in time was with Bahrain. And many of the initiative. Also, this is a country with 1.5 million population. Out of that, 30% are Indians. And also quite considerable number of chartered accountants as well. The size of the country, comparatively, we are around 700 chartered accountants are in this island. And around 500 are active members of Bahrain chapter of ICI. Coming back, one particular point I would like to reiterate what Nirlep ji is told is that I would like to connect with that innovation, communication, and entrepreneurship. So this branding is very important. When Anurag ji is talking, also is told that we have a 205 nationalities, means 205 type of competition is coming in. Okay, in whatever you do in India, chartered accountants up to the time when we are talking, there is no competition for chartered accountants. There are specific areas mentioned to us. We can only do deliver those kind of jobs or tasks. But in this region, it's an open market. Any type of people or any country with the basic knowledge of accounting, financials, or whatever, they can do the same task what we are doing. Where we, as a Indian chartered accountant, distinguishes the value proposition we bring to the table. That value proposition always makes us different. We should continue to hold that value. Up to the time we hold that value, we are relevant. The day we don't carry that additional value, we are irrelevant. Because as rightly mentioned, there are some of the competition is coming from other developing emerging economies and markets like even Pakistan and Philippines. As a salary or a compensation basis, we cannot match them. They are willing to work for half of the salary package where an Indian chartered accountant is expecting. Therefore, what we need to always keep in mind that what the value we are bringing. We are very fortunate for two reasons by default when you are qualified to become a chartered accountant. One is that the kind of knowledge and the ability skill we develop as a part of our articleship and the kind of examination we are having ourselves to get qualified, we are definitely standing out that point. That's great. That's where we are having a lot of skill sets. And the second one, our people already told that last 3 or 4 decades, Indian chartered accountants are very, very prominent in this region. The kind of brand value our predecessors or whomever created is among us. Therefore, it is not an issue for any of you newly coming here and identifying yourself as an Indian chartered accountant. People definitely will be identifying you, okay, it belongs to that particular community. You can rely upon them. They don't even ask for another question about your skill and ability. Maybe that fitment of that particular role may be asked, but definitely for your qualification and skill, there will not be any additional question because the brand value created by our predecessors last 5 decades in this region is so good. Okay. Therefore, it comes with every opportunity comes with a lot of responsibility also. Okay. Therefore, it is also important for us to continue that legacy and create more values and behave responsibly. And told that the cultural issue already mentioned that there are different background and cultural people. There was always, whatever we are trying to do, always should analyze ourselves that whether this is fitting into the scheme of things in this particular region. But nothing to worry about that. Even when Ankit was mentioning, it's about always it's a summer. But as a chartered accountant or as a profession myself, I never felt that it's a very hot country. The reason is that the country is not hot. Country is definitely hot, but the kind of facility we enjoy, we never want to get into the sunshine and get us affected by the climate. Okay, why I am telling this forum that whoever people back sitting in India may be thinking that this climate is unaffordable for us and it will be difficult, but never ever. Because the kind of atmosphere in the offices created for the white collar job is such a great, and you can't imagine that facility even in India anywhere in summer. You will be a lot of sweating, all those things are happening. But in this region, it is relatively very good. Therefore, don't worry about those kind of aspects. If you are looking into that, this area, two things mentioned that. Already mentioned that this just a 2.5 hours, 3 hours flight time. Therefore, you are easily reachable. It's like the time you take from navigate yourself from one part of India to another part. Exactly the same time you will reach here. Also, Indian communities are very large here. Therefore, you will never feel that. I personally, I never felt that I am not in India, because whatever you want to do, all our Indians are there in and around you. And whatever you want to do, you are at ease. Also, the cultural and social organizations in this region are very, very active. Therefore, you will never feel uncomfortable about those things. But equally, we have to respect the other culture and other country people also. That's the only thing we need to a little take care. Coming back to the opportunities in Bahrain, I already told that 700 chartered accounts are working equally like any other GCC countries. We ourselves chartered accountants work in very, very prominent roles in finance, internal audit, consulting, all those areas. These are the opportunities available in Bahrain as well. And insurance and banking sector, Bahrain is the regional hub for quite some time. Therefore, most of the opportunities in the formal sector will be from banking and insurance. If you are qualified enough in banking and insurance, it will be a great opportunity to look into options in Bahrain. In addition to that, this Bahrain is the one such country in the GCC that dependent on oil revenue is comparatively lesser. The Bahrain the revenue 40% is consists support service and tourism. Therefore, it's a very diversified economy. If you are having a skill set in the service industry or hospitality industry, definitely this will be a wonderful place for you to look into the options. Okay, I feel that I gave a high-level understanding of the country as such. Maybe we'll get into the details later in the next round of discussion. Thank you very much. Back to Nirlep-ji.
Yeah, thank you very much, CA Santosh, for this invaluable insight, I would say. And friends, CA Santosh made a very, very important point that when you land up in any of the Middle East countries, you know, the brand value of the chartered accountant is already there. Thanks to the CAs who have come here and have sown the seeds of the professionalism and have built up some of the greatest organization of this region. You know, I remember about Qatar, first chartered accountants in the small country as Qatar came somewhere in 1975. I'm sure in Dubai, it must be a little while earlier also. So when we land up here, we need not to prove ourselves or in terms of our professional accomplishment. But then it's very important to take us from the next level, compete with the other professionals and other nationals to mold into the culture and then keep on adding the value. Indian community, as I already mentioned, it's quite strong here, very well respected also here. It is perceived that Indian community is a very, very hardworking community. Indians are very, very hardworking people, a law-abiding community also. So that goodwill also we Indians proudly wear. So you need not to worry about all these things. And C.A. Santosh also mentioned about the temperature. Yeah, the weather is too harsh here, but then you need not to worry because the quality of life is also everywhere is reasonably quite well. Thank you so much, C.A. Santosh. Now we'll move to the Vice Chairman of C.A. Sajiv, who is representing the very, very beautiful country of Middle East, and he's from Muscat, Oman. So, C.A. Sajiv, over to you to give us high-level insight on the opportunities available in your country.
Thank you, Nirlep-ji. Good evening to everyone. This is Sajiv here, joining from Muscat. At the outset, I thank all the leaders of ICA for organizing this or this initiative to give the right set of information which we were lacking at our initial days, right from the Middle East. And thank you for joining all the leaders of the chapters from the Middle East. Before I start giving a brief about the professional opportunity in this country, I wish to just run 2-3 slides, if you allow me, just to give a glance about the country. Is it possible to share the screen?
Yes, Sajiv, you can share. If you see on the top, the third button in middle, which is for share screen. So through that you can share. Sajiv, have you joined through link or through the app?
Through the link.
Through the link, then it will not allow, Sajiv. So if you can manage without, because you need to join through the app for sharing.
Okay, so then it's fine. Then it's fine.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share some photos and some videos of the country. Anyway, I'll just
Sorry to interrupt, Sajiv. See, what you can do probably, we'll have a second round in which briefly you can show it, and meanwhile you continue with your discussion.
yes,
So,
yes. Sure.
yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Narlebji. See, as far as Oman is concerned, as Narlebji rightly said, it's a beautiful country among 6 GCC countries. GCC Gulf cooperative countries. There are 6 countries: UAE, Doha, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi, Oman, and Kuwait. So these are the 6 countries where the GCC is forming GCC as a region. We do have, I believe, all the countries we do have active chapters. And as far as Oman specifically is concerned, the total number of members, as far as CAs are concerned, around 800 members, 600 to 800 members are officially there. But I mean, unofficially it is there, registered and unregistered. But registered members around 350 to 400 members. That's our size of the CAs here. Let me get into the some briefing about the country. The country is almost double the size of UAE, and 5 million is a total population. Around 40% is the expat population. Out of 40%, 2 million is a expat population, where around 500,000, 5 lakh is the Indian community. So where, as far as the professional opportunity is concerned, around 70% of the total private sector is managed by Indian CAs or semi-qualified accountants or accountants. So it is not a well-developed country like UAE, but our main oil is our main economy, source of economy. It's oil-based economy basically. 80% comes from the oil. And government is in their plan to put other industries to diversify their revenue streams. Especially the second focus is for the tourism, which is happening. The tourism projects are happening, and then the other industries basically the service industries and the manufacturing. We do have around 5 industrial estates, which is the largest port, which is in Dukum and even the Sohar, the port cities, and where the industries are located. Then Salalah is another port city where the another industrial area. Then the Ruzail and Samail. So there are a couple of industrial estates where the manufacturing companies are located. The exports is happening food-based and non-food-based, mainly the oil-related industries. As far as the opportunity, as I mentioned to you, is concerned, 70% is a chartered accountants or even the finance experts from India is managing the country. But as other leaders also mentioned, we are also facing lot of challenges, lot of competition from other countries or other professionals, mainly due to 2 reasons. One is the pricing part, which CA Santoshji rightly mentioned, the pricing part, which is a really challenge. Chartered accountants from Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and from other regions, the pricing is well below our standard. See why? Because we've been representing, or we've been in these regions for long, and we have set our standards, and also we have got a kind of a credibility. See, you know that finance and accounts is a critical part of any business organization, where we have been treated as, you know, the trustworthy community to manage the organizations and the economy as such. So that way we are very proud to be the CAs, and that recognition, I'm sure all the regions, I'm talking about Oman specifically, Oman, that kind of, you know, the recognition is there, and that we are enjoying that. So always that kind of, you know, a company when an organization, whether it is listed company or private company, when they go for looking for a new finance person, the first preference goes to India. And I don't think they will have a second choice. It's always, the Indian chartered accountants. So that kind of, the credibility we have in managing the finance. So that way, the opportunity is it's huge. And also from the other side, if you look at among all 6 GCC countries, I understand Oman started taxation, corporate taxation, couple of decades before. At least 2-3 decades before, Oman is having, following the corporate taxation. So that opportunity is there for practice. Practicing chartered account, there are, if you look at in Oman, the practicing chartered accountants, mainly the Indians. So we have many Indians, successful Indian chartered accountants set up their practice over a period. And the name also is there. You take any big 4 or any tier 2 firms or even the smaller firms, majority of them are Indians or controlled or managed or actively run by Indians. So this is another opportunity. Then VAT started in 2021 last year. Last 1 year, VAT is there in Oman. And there are some talk which is, other personal taxation and all those things in all the regions, but there is no definite or proper information as such. So this is about the opportunity for the new PAs. It is open, but there are some challenges. So I was talking about the opportunity and about the market, but there are some challenges as well. As you know, this region itself is mainly going through some economic challenges and phases where they have to look for the localization. The localization, each country you look at, the localization is a big country. As you know, in all these countries, the visa permit or the work permit is managed through visas, 2-year contract visas, most of the countries, mainly in Oman. So you get a work permit for 2 years. Any employer who wish to bring a chartered accountant will have to apply to the ministry to get the work permit for 2 years. So they will get the clearance in the name of the chartered accountant or any candidate. So that a 2-year period, which the clearance number of clearance or quota, which is managed by the Ministry of Manpower. So they have to look at the localization, the Omanization or localization. So there, getting the visa clearance is a little challenge because they will prefer the local. It is, of course, that is actually the way it should be because they have to look at their growth also, or probably the prosperity also. So that way, it is not so easy to get a visas since the accountancy profession is Omanized. That profession itself, or that particular category of job is mainly Omanized. But there are some open financial analyst, or there are some categories it is open. So that's how that's the main challenges. Then the currency is Omani Riyal. It's $2.6 one Omani Riyal, and geographically, which is very close to India, and neighboring country is UAE, Saudi, and Yemen. UAE is 450 kilometers away from Muscat, which is around 4 hours drive. A beautiful country, well connected with infrastructure and roads, and having a very good relation with all the country, all neighboring and all globally connected with the countries, which has a rating within 10 in peace as per the international rating. And people, one important thing, the people, which from my experience, Omani people are very, very friendly and respectful people, especially to Indians. because India and Oman, the relation started way back centuries ago. Started, the relation. So it's a very good relation we're maintaining and good people, and it's a good opportunity. So in the first round, I wish to conclude here. Thank you, Nalebji. So see you the next round. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sajivji. And taking cue from friends from CS Sajiv has gave us an insight, and all the chapter chairmen, they also highlighted about the sectoral scenario or the business scenario in each of the major sector, like in UAE or in Dubai especially, the tourism sector is in boom. Similarly, Qatar is also, as Ankit has mentioned, that tourism, they are trying to promote the tourism. Qatar is also trying to be one of the major sports hub of the region. And similarly, C.A. Santosh said about how Bahrain is playing a prominent role as a country as far as the opportunities in banking and financial services goes, because most of the Indian banks, offshore banking unit as they call it, are located into Bahrain. So what I'm trying to mention here is that it's very, very important to understand the overall economic scenario, which are the sectors which are in boom into the respective countries before you take a decision to move that country, and then align your own career also with it. So this is a very important point to understand, which everybody has rightly highlighted. Friends, now we will move to the biggest GCC country, which is Saudi Arabia. Yes. So we have CM Madhur Gupta, who is representing the Riyadh chapter of Saudi Arabia, and the size of Saudi Arabia is almost same like India. It's a very, very vast country. If you go from Al Khobar to Jeddah, I don't know how many hours it will take. Very, very, I would say, oil-rich country, very, very important country, and the biggest country of GCC region. Over to you, CM Madhur Gupta, Chairman of the Riyadh chapter of ICI, to give your views on the opportunities.
Thanks a lot, Nirmalji. Good evening, friends. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank our President and Vice President and Mr. Prabdeep ji for organizing this seminar. This would be a great motivation for the new chartered accountants to have a clear mind for exploring overseas opportunities. Now, without wasting any time, let me give you a brief introduction about Saudi Arabia. Many of you would still be having hesitation over looking Saudi Arabia as a source of job opportunities. Let me clarify that we have witnessed tremendous changes in the last 5 years, be it in terms of culture, job opportunities. Now we have a very big Indian diaspora in Saudi Arabia. As Mr. Nirlabji said, this is the biggest economy of Middle East. It is also part of G20. If you will ask me about the job opportunity, Saudi Arabia has a huge potential because the government wants to diversify its economy from oil-based economy to other. Now we are looking for to explore each and every sectors. Saudi has a vision of 2030 in which they want to transform KSA, and you would see a next emerging in KSA years. We have NEOM projects, we have Red Sea project, we have a Roshan project. Each of these projects have budget of approx 500 billion US dollars. So there will be a tremendous new opportunity which will attract lots of expatriates in KSA. As far as competition is concerned, this country is mostly dominated by the Arab-speaking countries. You can say that it's Lebanese or Jordanian or Egyptians, but Indian and Pakistani chartered accountants has also a good influence. Now the Indian chartered accountants have creating their market, thanks to our previous members who have done a great work to build the pillars for new chartered accountants to come and grab the market. If you talk me about the cost of living as compared to the other Gulf countries. The cost of living in KSA is comparatively very low. You can save lots of money in this country. And still we are having a tax-free income in Saudi Arabia. One thing that I would like to say about Saudi Arabia, that the local accounting bodies, so-called members, they doesn't allows practice of Indian Chartered Accounting in this part of the world. So hence we cannot practice here. So other than this, if you have any question, then please let me. You are free to contact us. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Over to you, Nilabji.
Thank you, CA Madhurji. And you very crisply mentioned your views. And one of the views is that there is a perception about Saudi Arabia, or what we call here KSA. Okay, friends, my humble advice to you, all of you, is that don't go by the hearsay here. Don't go by what is projected into the media. Actually, I was about to say in the latter part of my communication is that wherever you plan to aspire to develop career in any of the countries, it's very important to have some mentor who is residing in that country, preferably since a longer time. Get in touch with them, especially if they have the same domain in which you are in or you are going to be, nothing like that, and then be guided by him or her. Don't go by what your friends are saying in India or elsewhere, what are there into the media. Remove the preconceived notion from your mind, so that you will be able to take an informed decision, which will only be of benefit to you. So it's very, very important to understand this, and it's very rightly mentioned by CA Madhurji in Saudi Arabia, but then it applies to all the countries. We have CA Dhaval also from Fujairah chapter of ICAI, and then I would request CA Dhaval to give your views, Fujairah in general, or especially your views about UAE also, because you are in that country.
Hi everyone. Just a minute. My congratulations to the students who have recently passed. My views are similar to almost everybody who has spoken by now, but in line, I'll give a little brief about Fujairah. So Fujairah is a part of UAE. The economy is the same as the rest of UAE. Sorry. We are the only emirate on the east coast of UAE, and it's a tiny place. We have about 45 CAs in the Fujairah area, and the main business of the main business in Fujairah is bunker. Bunker is the supply of fuel to vessels. So Fujairah is the world's second largest bunkering station, and we also have stone. When I say stone, I mean we have stone. The rest of the GCC countries, they have desert, they have sand, and we have stone. So the advantage that we have is that we are able to export stone from UAE. We are able to export stone from Fujairah to the rest of the GCC countries, and this is a major economy. By major, I mean we produce close to 100 million tons of stone every year, and we export close to half of that. So besides that, a majority of the work that we do here is the same as in the rest of the UAE. Our main areas would be the larger companies here and the government. I think that is what we should do in Fujairah. That's it.
Thank you very much, CA Dhaval. So friends, it's important to mention here that what a profound vision our ICI leaders also have. Realizing the importance of UAE as a country, ICI has a 4 overseas chapter in the UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Fujairah, and Ras Al Khaimah. Pradip sir, am I right? Correct?
Yes, Nazar. 4 chapters in UAE. And 3 in
so
Saudi
it's
Arabia.
very right. And 3 also in Saudi Arabia, which is also one of the very, very important and the biggest countries, as we all mentioned. So friends, now while having this insight on the regional opportunities to the chartered accountants, it's very, very important to have a few things in mind. First of all, please make yourselves quite informed about the visa requirements of the respective countries. All the countries are more or less following the same pattern, but then still there are certain countries like CA Sajeev has mentioned about Omanization or preference of the national in some of the jobs. So while you plan your career, it's very, very important to know the visa requirements, the procedure, the timing it may take, because at this stage of your career, or for that matter at any stage of anyone's career, timing is very, very important. Please keep it in mind that probably the recruitment procedure over here are not that great rapid, so you have to consider at least 3 to 4 months of that time, right from you apply for the job and when you get the job. So this is the normal scenario. Again, it differs from the country to country. I'm saying from my own experience. Also, very, very important, as some of the panelists have mentioned, to align your career with the sectors which are in boom into the country. Each of the country is having also their own national vision. Qatar national vision is there for 2030. So if you are planning to aspire career, for example, in Qatar, go through this document. Please, make yourselves abreast to the information available on it and identify that what it is in for you. Like C.S. Sajeev mentioned about the taxation. So if you are planning to apply the career in taxation, probably from what Mr. Sajeev has mentioned, Oman seems to be a great country. So is the UAE, where the VAT has reached to its mature stage, which we'll also cover in one of our questions in the second round. So with this, I will move to my second round. My humble request to all the panelists is that please keep your answer to the around 3 minutes or so, because we expect the presence of CM and IB chair and vice chair, because this is going to be the last day of this 7-day series. So now.
Yes, sir, I just wanted to update that as they are having a meeting in Kolkata, they won't be able to join. I just dropped you a message on WhatsApp. I think you haven't seen.
Okay.
So therefore we can conclude at the convenience of all the parties, all the panelists present here. Yeah. So we won't be having
yeah. So then it's right. Still we have 8 panelists. So I think 5 minutes or so would be fine, 4 to 5 minutes. Thank you, Prabdipji. Yeah. So friends, now we will move to the specific question based on the respective panelist expertise, based on the country specific scenario, and also more importantly, based on the skills which you require to imbibe at this stage of your career. So my first question will follow the same order what we have followed to CA Anurag Chaturvedi ji is that, sir, one of the important areas in Dubai is about the indirect tax, which is VAT. And in India also, the GST has reached to its mature level. So many may feel that those having experience in GST, so for them transition to UAE may be easier. And as you know, we all know you have that senior level experience. What's your view for those who want to explore opportunities in this area, which is VAT? And also, please share your updates about, if you have any, about the recently to be promulgated the corporate income tax law in UAE. Anurag sir, are you there, sir?
Anurag is here, but I think there seems to be some technical issue because his mic and video is on, but he's not visible. Maybe we can return to Anurag. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he is there. Anurag ji.
Okay, no problem. I think I was just trying to log in from my other device. So let me tell you something about, UAE
Okay,
perception.
you heard the question, no? You heard the question,
Yeah, I
right?
heard the question. I heard the question.
Please, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Okay. So what I want to tell you about UAE, see, first of all, people need to change their perception about UAE VAT. When we see a lot of professionals coming to UAE, what they believe that, they have indirect tax knowledge in India, or they have, the pan-India VAT implementation or GST implementation, and they believe it's a piece of cake. It's not. It's not. It is very different. It's very complicated. So first thing that the students that need to bear in mind, or freshly qualified chartered accountant, they need to bear in mind that it is very complicated. Because what you see in India, it's not here. And what is here, you have not experienced and you have not seen it. So if you wanted to make your career in the taxation, you have to study. Before you step into the country in the UAE, or before even you think about applying for a job, go to the federal tax website, which is www.tax.gov.ae. I repeat, www.tax.gov.ae. Go read the law, read the regulations, read the updates and guides and clarification before you even apply. The reason is people get really upset. And I can tell you, like, I receive at least 300 to 400 applications every day. 300 to 400 applications that I wanted to make an entry in UAE. I, Anurag, I wanted to make an entry in UAE, and then so on and so forth. My other committee members like John and Dhaval and everybody, right? But the challenge is when they write about this, they believe that the students, they believe that they know every single thing. But in general, if the conversation is start, imagine I need to write it to 500 people, I need to revert back to them. I would like to revert back to a person who is knowledgeable, at least a little bit knowledgeable. But that is not the people don't want to put any effort in learning the law. Even just now, while the session is on, one person wrote it to me on LinkedIn. Sir, I read all the articles and news and every single thing. I need your help in terms of setting a practice in UAE. I said, the session is happening here. Where are you? Why are you writing me on LinkedIn? Why are you not on the session here? So they are not here. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this? Now, if this person write it on LinkedIn, do you think I will revert back to him? Never. I will not revert back because I don't have time. And so is anybody do not have time, like you all friends who recently qualified. You also don't have time. So as we. So if you want our help, you wanted to come to the country like UAE, which is, as I said, the city of dreams. You want to come here? Please ensure that you read the VAT law. If you want to make your career in the auditing field, read the Companies Act, read IFRS, read the recent changes which is happening in world of IFRS, which is IFRS 17, IFRS 16, 15, 9, and so on. If you want to make your career into banking, probably you wanted to get into the AML field, read the AML law. Read the International Standard of Auditing, which is IIA. If you don't know, I cite an example today. So a chartered accountant comes, and many chartered accountants today, they do the dummy articleship. So I asked them, okay, if you qualified, what kind of experience you do have? He says, I have an experience in auditing. So my next question was that, tell me, how many assertions are there? And he was like, and not just only one, I'm just telling you many people. So I said, what are the assertions? So my question is, if you don't know assertion, how will you define the test of procedure? And if you're not able to define the test of procedure, how will you test the control? Whether you are going to be in industry, or you're going to an audit, or you're going to be in tax world, these are the critical principles. So before you attempt to come to UAE, or before you attempt to write anybody, my strongest recommendation to you is read the regulation, which is each tax, auditing standard, COSO, COVID. You want to make a career in technology, read about the data security laws, data security provisions, NIST guidelines, right? If you want to set up a practice, come prepared. There's a specific set of things that you need to do that. Come prepared about it. Come here in the UAE, don't sit in UAE, India. If you want to do business here, or you want to do it, take a visit visa, 3 months. Come here in the UAE, take enough amount of money along with you, which at least 20 to 25,000 dirhams, which can help you out get going, so that you don't run out of money. Bring your credit card. Spend time here, meet the people, professionals, industrials, and authorities, and do set up your business. It's very easy, very convenient. Every single thing is easy. So this is what I wanted to add from my side.
Yeah, thank you very much, C. Anurag. And friends, C. Anurag has highlighted very, very important area which I have been seeing at least in Qatar. Okay, employers nowadays prefer the candidates who are already into that respective country. So it's very, very important to test the water, to feel the vibes of the country, invest some amount or have that amount what C. Anurag has mentioned approximately with you, meet the people over here, take the idea of the economic environment over here, and then there is a higher chance for you to get the job. I remember C. Ankit has rightly mentioned about he has given name of some of the very, very important website also, Indeed.com, Byte.com and GulfTalent.com. To add to this, I must mention also that apart from this, nowadays, almost in every reputed corporates, at least, the recruitment procedure have been quite streamlined without any human intervention also. You are mandatorily required to apply through the portal of that company and go through the interview process. So that human intervention and anomalies have been ironed out to a great extent. So these are very, very important points. And taking a cue from again what C. Anurag has said, technical competence is our weapon. We have to wear it at all times. Other skills and the additional ancillary skills cannot substitute the technical knowledge and the skill set which we are compulsorily required to have. It's something which is non-negotiable, and I'm sure that C. Anurag has drawn the reality in front of all of us. So thank you so much. C.A. John, now we'll move to next question to you. You may be aware that, many chartered accountants aspire to be self-employed by setting up their own practices in the long run at least. So according to you, what are the critical success factors to establish the practice in the overseas region and especially in the Middle East and be successful? What are the skill set which required for the same?
Thank you, C.A. Nirlab. This question is a fantastic question. Just because this question, everyone will go through, everyone will want to understand this question in their life at one point. When you finish your articleship or when you finish your CA, two options come in front of you. One is, should I go for a practice or should I go for employment? We have to choose one. So the guys who choose to go for employment that we discuss, you apply different companies and all this stuff. Here, when you decide to go for a practice, the first thing you should have, it's not that you need a passion for it. To succeed in a practice, you need a passion for it. In India, if you do a practice, I think getting work is more easy. The reason being, you can sign the financials, you can do tax audit, and for income tax purpose, everybody will approach you for income tax. So the work is coming to you by the profession itself. You get the work. The CA have a more respect in India because we have some monopoly in some areas. But when you come outside India, it's totally different. As I said earlier, you are in front of an international community. You are one degree among other degrees. You have to prove yourself. You cannot say that, you cannot go to an American company and say, I am an Indian qualified chartered accountant and I get work. I should be responsible to sign the audit financials. No. You have to prove. Again, in here, auditing is different. In practice, auditing is different and consulting is different. If you needed to do an auditing, you need to have a license. You need to have a proper qualification and you need to have a local partner. So getting an audit license is not that easy as an Indian Chartered Accountants. I think ICA is working for this. But right now, it on a case-to-case basis they approve. And you need a good brand. You need to build a brand to get audit work. So I am not touching much about the audit part. So the other part is on a consultancy work. This is where we should keep our focus. In consultancy, it is you. You show your skills. You be persistent. You should have patience. There are plenty of work here. You name it, VAT. Just an example, Dubai chapter chairman Anurag, he built a brand here. So similar, we have many examples, Indians who came here and built their own brand. They have shown their skills. And we are proud for those guys who have established here. So there is plenty of work. The local community should trust you. You should have a good relationship with the local community. As far as VAT is concerned, there are plenty of work. There is audit of VAT is there. There is review of VAT is there. And the major work is going to come. That's income tax. Be prepared. The business is waiting for you. But you be ready. You learn. You learn and come. You show that how skilled you are. How can you communicate well? What's your knowledge about income tax? Then work is not a limitation to you. And there are plenty of other areas, like cyber security, compliance. There are plenty of compliance requirement of multinational because they follow international standards where compliance is a must. AML is one of the hot topic here. There are UBO, ICV, to name it, there are many. So as far as consulting is concerned, don't worry. If you have a passion, if you are dedicated, this is the place for you. So I request everyone to please evaluate yourself. Are you ready to do the practice? Am I capable to, whether I have a passion to do it? Then yes. So even if you do on a small scale basis also, it's possible. You can get a freelance license which costs maybe 150,000 rupees for a freelance license. But if you want to go in a bigger scale, in a good brand building, then the cost is much higher. So so there are different options are here. You have to evaluate yourself and take a decision if you want to come in practice and do an international market, doing such type of merger and acquisitions. There are plenty of work is there. So let me conclude and saying that opportunities are there. Be prepared, evaluate yourself, have passion, and visit here, learn the market, test the market, then just move on. Over to you, Nilab.
Thank you, CA John. So while there are some challenges, about the obtaining audit license in each of the countries, I believe, but at the same time, I must mention and commend the efforts of ICI also in coordinating and putting the best foot forward in getting it resolved. What CA John has aptly highlighted is about the opportunities in the consultancy sector. And one of the favorite area which he mentioned, which is applicable in Qatar also, is the ICV certification. Look, from where the opportunities keep on coming, So in-country value is one of the areas which is quite lucrative also as far as the self-employment is concerned, where you are required to determine the ICV score and recommend it to the ministry. So the point he was trying to mention, and I reiterate, is that opportunities are plenty in each of the areas in the consultancy. You need to identify where your passion lies, what is your career roadmap is all about, and also please assess the risk also involved into it. What is your perspective about it? What is the return on investment in specific areas, be mentored in a right manner by any of the practicing chartered accountant into this consultancy sector, and I'm sure success will be all yours. Qatar is a very, very small country, friends, but I must mention, and Ankit would agree with me, that, you know, before a decade back or so, there were hardly 5 or 6 chartered accountants in Qatar, and from that, Indian owned are hardly a couple of them. Now I can see there are at least 15 chartered accountants, those who are practicing in Qatar, and that is just in last 3 or 4 years. So if this is what is happening is with the country of 2.8 million, I am sure what's going to happen and what are the great growth prospects we have in countries like UAE and Saudi Arabia, the bigger countries. So thank you so much, CA John. Now we'll move to CA Ankit, who is having a keen interest into the non-traditional areas. So as we all know that many chartered accountants are aspiring to venture out into the non-traditional areas, not into accounting, finance, taxation, or into practice or so, especially in the startups, which is the ecosystem is quite flourishing rapidly in India and as well as into Qatar. And many of the chartered accountants, C. Ankit, are exploring the career into non-traditional area, and especially in those startups by being a startup founder, fundraiser, or startup mentor. So my question to you is, Ankit, how a chartered accountant can charter a career in these areas, and what are the skill set one should possess to develop into this non-traditional areas and also achieve the desired level of growth? Over to you, C. Ankit.
Thank you so much, C. Nirlab. I truly agree with you, Nirlab. Startup ecosystem is rapidly flourishing, not only in India, but outside India also. So more and more younger generations are moving towards the startup. In the other way around, I would say the CAs are now not only meant for preparing the financials or taking up the big corporate jobs or auditing, but now they are thinking beyond the numbers. Startup is all about being creative, thinking out of the box, and being the passionate about something you always wanted to do in your life. Yes, definitely I would say the young CA should now charter their career in starting their own startups. The skills, I would say the basic skills which is needed to set up a startup are, the first is be creative. An idea which can be out of the box or the need of the society or consumer or something you are passionate about gives the birth to any startup, which is one of the most important skill to set up a startup. The second point I would mention is the research and development, doing the proper homework of the companies who are working toward the similar idea or the concept before implementing your startup. It's another important skill. The third one I would mention is a leadership skill, very, very important for a successful startup. A leader should be with a clear mission, plus a good team with the same like-minded people. Then only your startup will be successful, that's for sure. So definitely you should have a great leadership skill. Time management, definitely. Time is money, so launching the idea before anyone else launch, it's very most important in the startup. So you have the idea, but somebody else launched it, so it's gone. So the time management skill is really needed to make the startup successful. Number 5 is, I would say, the communication skill. Simple, lucid communication skill is the utmost important to make the end user understandable about the product or the service you are making through your startups. 6th number, which is very much important, and like that is networking. Of course, networking plays a very, very important role to make the startup idea and reaching to the most of the customers across the globe in a very short span of time. If you have a good network, your startup can be successful within a month. And if you don't have a network, it may take at least 1 year, 2 years to reach to the consumers. The last is the funding. I would say the most important skill to run any startup is how you manage the fund, how you procure the fund which is needed for the startup. So the growth for any startup definitely depend on the passions of the individual, I would say. Because I have seen many startups ideas come they fail again, and then you just lose the hope that okay, it's not working, now I have to take the job. But no, don't lose your patience. Success will come definitely. It will take time, but please don't lose the patience in the startup. That's more important thing. So the growth prospect for any startup is purely based on your long-term vision instead of your short-term vision. Always look for the long-term vision. Always look that, okay, this particular product is going to be benefit for the long-term visions and all those things for the long-term customers. So I think that is one of the most important point for being successful in the startup. So I would mention some of the very well-known and successful startups by the chartered accountants are Make My Trip, Yatra, Boat, Imami, CA job portals, etc. These all are started by chartered accountants only. Aman Gupta, I think many of us knows now Boat, so that's he is one of the co-founded. Some of the organization in India which can guide you and can help you with the fundings are Action for India, Deshpande Foundation, Innovent, Center for Innovation, Incubation and Center CIIE, Startup India, Marico Innovation Foundation. So you can visit this of the website which can help you with the whole startup idea, as well they can help you with the funding process also. And apart from that, in the last 2 years, Qatar has also seen a drastic increase in the number of startups started by the individual, not only through the expat but also through the Arab world. So Qatar is also now helping the new individuals to come up with their new innovation ideas and to set up the startup in the country to different organizations like QBIC, which is a Qatar Business Incubation Center, Business Startup Center, Startup Grin, etc. And myself, I have also done a small startup for the Qatar in the last 2 years. Is the name Essence of Qatar. So of course, I would say follow your passion. It will definitely lead to the success. Whatever you are passionate about, don't lose the hope. Just follow that, and definitely there will be a success. So with this, I would say, if you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion. For your passion will lead your right into your purpose. With this, over to you, C.N. Nilab.
Thank you very much for very, very nice remarks on this startup ecosystem. And as C. Ankit has rightly said, he mentioned about the passion and patience in his speech. So I would also mention the preparation. So before venturing out into any of the areas, be it traditional or non-traditional, friends, it's very important to keep these 3 P's into mind. Passion, where your passion lies. Have some patience. Patience is always a virtue. And be prepared. Be resourceful. Always know more than others. So that's what is all about preparation. Somewhere one of the esteemed panelists also mentioned about the networking skill. So I would always say that, always keep that NEST in mind, NEST, to achieve the success. N for networking, E for enterprising attitude, which we talked about, S for soft skill, absolutely non-negotiable requirement, and T for technology. So with this T, we'll move to one tech-savvy chartered accountant, which we have over here, C.A. Santosh. As you may be aware, freshly qualified chartered accountants are expected to be tech-savvy, irrespective of the domain chosen by chartered accountant. Friends, just to exemplify, you have a faceless assessment in India in income tax, a great example of how a digital transformation is taking place. So it's extremely important to have hands-on on both established as well as emerging technology. So C.A. Santosh, from your experience, can you please share some insight? If a chartered accountant wants to plan a career in technological area, like say as a functional consultant or as a leader of digital transformation, how promising such a career can be? And what are your thoughts on it?
Thank you, C. Nirlabji. See, we are living in an era where technology is driving us rather than we are driving the technology. Just one example I will tell you. Immediately after qualification, I jumped into technology. I never worked in a traditional financial or auditing or any of these areas. I moved into functional consulting in technology, initially into Oracle, means Ramco e-applications, then time that's an ERP application, then into Oracle. And I was very keen to stay back myself in India. I don't want to go out of India. I want to continue my job, profession in India. Don't want to get out of it. But I recollect maybe 5 years down the line of my technological life, each and every one who jumped into the technological bandwagon on that year or along with me, all are either in US or Europe. I resisted myself not going, but still, maybe another 5 to 10 years down the line, technology pushed me, or the technological drive pushed me to come to Bahrain. And I continue to on my technological life in another different role as an internal control in the technology side. What I want to tell in this is that the options and opportunity in technology today is in the evolving world is very great. The dependency on technology is huge, even if you are a chartered accountant or not. I'm not talking about the technological dependency in our traditional practice or auditing or tools or anything. I'm specifically focusing on the high-end technologies. Say for an example, if you are a technologically inclined, if you would like to continue yourself in India, then SAP may be a better choice, because all large manufacturing organizations or the biggest organizations are using SAP as a backend processing software. Therefore, that will be the greatest opportunity. If you are thinking of doing some course or something like that, it will be an SAP. But if you are trying to move to GCC country, this area predominantly dominated by Oracle ERP. Therefore, if you are developing some kind of attending some kind of training or in Oracle will be helpful. Also, it is very important, even if you are taking a technology or non-traditional job also, say for your accounts processing or financial reporting, all is going to happen from these kind of technological softwares or tools. Therefore, if you are applying for a traditional role also, having a knowledge in this kind of system will be a great advantage. Therefore, please invest your certain amount of resources and time to get yourself trained into these kind of tools and softwares. It will be definitely an investment. It will give an edge, like Anurag was previously telling, that create an edge and value for yourself. Among a normal lot, you will stand out with this kind of additional skill set you are possessing. That's one part of that. Second, coming into the technological side, if you have a little more acumen towards technology, then the functional consulting is the one area where we have a lot of opportunity. See, there are competition, definitely MBAs and engineers and all other people also come into that. But financials, in an ERP system, financials are the most important thing. And the stability and the accuracy of a financial reporting is the most important. If the financial information is not correct, whatever information you are having in the system is of no use. Therefore, we chartered accountant understand these financial information and the financial control aspects, and the accuracy is very important. That gives always an advantage for us. Therefore, there is nothing to worry if you would like to select yourself or place yourself into that area if you have a little more inclination to learn technology and technological changes. Okay, Oracle is one such opportunity, SAP I was mentioning, and now Microsoft Dynamics are there, and Salesforce is one another software which is very, very fastly catching up across the world. That's also one of the technology. It's a cloud-based. Now almost everyone is moving into the cloud. Cloud-wise, different solutions are there, but these are the four prominent applications or ERP systems which is mostly going to rule the world. Okay, in Oracle itself, there are plenty of other versions and opportunities. I'm not getting into the very detail, but it is that is the reality. Therefore, always try to develop an acumen towards the technology and understand that the world is moving, driving by the technology, not the human are pushing but we are going to follow the technology. And the blockchain is another big area. Whatever currently system having technology is using, it will all going to have the blockchain technology. One small example I will tell you that today we have a payable and receivable system. My payable is going to be a receivable of another company, or the vice versa. In the blockchain system, if you are properly develop a system of blockchain, there is no need for a person to create a payable system. when a sale is created by the company who do the sales, the receivable gets created and automatically through the blockchain system, it can be pushed to your books that is as a payable. Just you need to just review and accept it. That's it. Therefore, the technology is going to drive rather than you are manual technique. You are looking at your all other receipts, documents, and approving your invoices. Not required. Just match directly with the receipts, and your invoice is automatically getting created in your accounting system. Similarly, the payment also. If you are creating a payment, there is no need of the other organization to create a receipt. The payment from your system is automatically going to push through blockchain technology on the receiving company's accounts, and the receipt will going to get created, and automatically your outstanding is going to get settled. These are the technological changes, and this is going to impact in a long way the way our accounting and financial system are currently running, including reporting. Everything is going to have a big impact. Therefore, always we should develop an acumen towards the technological changes going to happen in this area, and we should welcome it rather than resisting ourselves. Also, you are a young people now coming up and looking for options. These are the some non-core areas for us, but we can make core anywhere, because the skill set which I initially I mentioned that the kind of the skill our course is giving us is giving enough confidence as to take any new challenges in any of these areas. And coming back to Bahrain, also plenty of opportunities. I was telling that this region is, or this country is dominated by the financial and insurance institutions. Therefore, plenty of opportunities using these kind of technological if you have a skill set. And one small thing I would like to highlight that is you have to invest little bit time or money and come and search a job here. That will be a better option. People always prefer that people are inside the country rather than from the outside. That's one aspect. On the demand side, I understand that each and every day I get a request from some or other companies telling that I need a fresher, 1 to 5 years of experience. Therefore, a lot of demand is there definitely for chartered accountants. Therefore, plenty of opportunities are there. If you are getting a right lead, chase it and come to Bahrain or any other GCC country for that matter. You can make a good career out of it and pursue your passion and other things. Thank you very much, Nirlebji.
Thank you, C.S. Santosh, for great insight on this very important area. Friends, now we will very move quickly to the next questions. And my humble request is to, because of the constraint of time, we have to finish within next 5 minutes maximum. Please take not more than 1 or 1.5 minutes. C.S. Ajay, you may please avoid, sir, showing the slides, in the interest of the time. So just give us a brief insight onto about the additional qualifications. So, as we all know, CAs face a tight competition from professionals, especially those holding the foreign qualifications like ACCA, CPA, etc. So how far do you think acquiring this additional qualification help after completing CA in the career progression, and which such qualification do you recommend? Or if you have any alternate view, please suggest, and within this 1 or 1.5 minutes, sir, please.
Thank you, Nirlebji. See, I wish to look at this aspect. It's a very relevant point, which I would like to put it in 2 ways. Number one, see, of course, as C.A. Santoshji mentioned, you need an additional skill set to be captured over a period of your experience to be here. See, when we talk about the knowledge, skills, or the skill set, you should be expert, or you should know everything about something, and you should know something about everything in our field, in the finance and accounts field. That's actually because in variety of the levels. Suppose if mid corporate, when you go, you may be 1 CA. So then there may be banking, treasury, budget, your performance, your reporting, everything you have to handle. So that kind of a skill set, which most of the leaders will agree with me, the companies, most of the private sector, it's an SME segment or even mid corporate, 1 CAs or maximum 2 CAs. So they'll have to manage everything. So and even the growth. So that way, the additional skill set they have to acquire, mainly the technology side, which they have to be very good in technology while coming, because we are actually going towards the automation and technology based accounting and reporting and such kind of era we are moving. Number two, as far as the competition you mentioned, quickly I wish to look at this aspect as well. See, you look at other, we are talking about other professions like CPAs, ACCA. See, why people are looking for ACCA or CPAs or other such kind of international bodies or members to give the chance. See, if you look at, we focus our curriculum as Indian curriculum, Indian taxation, Indian reporting standards, Indian. So everything, mainly I see this as actually an Indian perspective, the practice, but there is another side of it. See, when you talk about international market, see, it's not required your Indian reporting standard, Indian taxation. It's for me, last 15 years I'm here, I'm not using that. Or so then probably from our side we can look at having a plan B, which is mainly catering to the international market, directly competing with the ACCA or any other international bodies where the reporting standards, IFRS, you are expert in IFRS, you are very expert in international taxation, you are international laws. So when talk about a young chartered accountant, they don't know anything about international taxation, anything about IFRS, anything about. So these kind of things probably we can look at from our side, institute side. Also, the additional qualifications they can gain. As I mentioned, they should be knowledgeable about a particular segment. So expert in particular, and that kind of vision should be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are very open to support young chartered accountants. As Muscat chapter, you can reach out to us through our websites or even chairman@muscat.org, or even you can website, you'll get all the email IDs. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And
thank you, CS Sajiv, especially to you, because just within an hour or half an hour, you agreed to be panelist, and as you rightly mentioned, great views you have shared. Now, just we have a couple of minutes only, so please, CM Madhur Gupta, let's have a candid question. All overseas career comes with their own fair share of the risk also. Do you think that career in Middle East is free from any risk? If you feel so, any risks are involved, if you can please give a couple of such risks for our information to keep it in mind before exploring the career.
Sure. I don't think that you will find any job which is free from any risk. But if you will talk about the Middle East, the major risk which we are currently facing is the first one, which we have already discussed, is the localization. The government wants to replace the foreign worker with the native population. However, if we talk about the finance sector, we have many years to be replaced by the local population, and the expertise which we possess is not an easy task to replace for the government. The second one, if you will ask, if you'll compare with the Western countries or the other like USA, UK, looking for a long-term perspective, you can work here for n numbers of years, but you cannot get a citizenship in this part of world. I think it's not easy to get the citizenship in each and every countries of Middle East. So this is the second challenge you may face. And third one, which we have already discussed, is if you are looking to set up a practice, you have to choose the right country. Like, as I mentioned, it's not easy. It's restricted in KSA only for the Saudis. And all of my friends has rightly pointed out that you have to respect the culture of the land and show compatibility with other national. The last thing that I really want to discuss is the visa availability, which is a big concern which is based on the nationality. In most of the Middle East countries, the visa is provided by the employer only. So the companies or the employer gets the visa from the government and they start hiring people based on the nationality. So that one thing I want to request from each of the newly chartered accountants, that please don't use any shortcut or informal source to get the work visa. There are lots of agencies who will provide you the free visa, which is certainly not a proper channel to enter Middle East. I can see that our time is just about to finish. Then I would like to say thank you. And if anyone who likes more information or has question, please feel free to contact us. Thank you, sir. Over to Nikhil.
Thank you, CA Madhur. And last, CA Dhaval, just in one question, but the most important question, but just in 1 minute, sir, please. What do you think the success mantra is for the newly qualified CAs?
If you are getting into practice, then ABC analysis. Okay. Everybody has studied ABC analysis for stock management. If you are into practice, 70% of your clients should give you sufficient revenue to just run your office. 20% of your clients should give you your profits, and 10% of your clients should give you your pleasure or your name. That, I believe, is the success mantra of being in practice. And all the best to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Very aptly said. We all have to do this ABC analysis, whether in practice or in employment. Friends, just to conclude, thank you so much to each one of you. As a parting remark, I would say it's very important to keep the opportunities as well as the risk in mind, localization issues, as some of the panelists have aptly mentioned. Learn the foreign languages. Being bilingual or multilingual is of paramount importance. I must mention some of the great initiatives by ICI. One of them is the development of e-kit. Visit the respective chapter website. Special thanks to Prabdeep ji for this e-kit initiative and helping us getting updated in a timely manner, which will have all the exhaustive 360-degree information about the respective chapter in the country. I also must mention that Committee for Development of International Trade Service and WTO is regularly conducting the classes to impart learning in the foreign languages, be it French, Spanish, German or Arabic. Take the advantage of it. It's very, very important to learn foreign languages. Finally, it's quoted that I'm a greater believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the better luck I have. So friends, never undermine the importance of persistence and perseverance. With this, over to you, CA Prabdeep ji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nedlip, for moderating the session, and sincere gratitude to all our panelists. Quickly, I would like to display the certificate of appreciation for all here. And do we see CA Nedlip's certificate here on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, it's coming, everyone.
Yeah, so CA Nedlip, thank you so much. CA Anurag Chaturvedi, CA John George, and CA Ankit Agarwal, thank you. CA Santosh TV. Sorry, we have certificate of CA Ravi Deora, Chairman, instead of CA Sajeev, who represented Muscat. Then CA Madhur Gupta, Riyadh chapter chair, and CA Dhaval Nandekar, our Fujairah chapter chair. Thank you so much. Thank you to each one of you on behalf of the Committee for Members in Industry and Business, on behalf of our Chairman, CA Ranjit Kumar Agarwal, and Vice Chairman, CA Dr. Raj Chavla. They could not make it due to urgent meeting which is happening for them. And we had a great 7 days, and we express sincere gratitude to all our faculties who participated in this. Today, the committee secretary, Mr. Ranganathan, is also with them, so he also could not make it. Thank you to the entire team of Committee for Members in Industry and Business, especially CA Hari Vadva, who supported in this program, who is with us here today significantly. And I wish all the participants, all the young members who attended, very best. And this is available on YouTube. You can always go back. And as all our speakers have always encouraged you to take support, so I wish you very best in that. Thank you. Signing off now. Stay safe. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe. Take care. Good night. Bye.
Thank you, friends.
Thank you.
so
Thanks a
much.
lot, Pradeep. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.